Imagine, for a moment, a small child, just 3 years old, with eyes that seem to carry the wisdom and pain of many lives. Now, imagine that this child not only remembers a previous existence, but also reveals disturbing details of a violent crime, precisely detailing the name of his killer and the place where his body is buried. This is the story of a boy who sparked a series of investigations, heated debates, and questions that challenge our understanding of memory, identity, and what it truly means to live. In the dark recesses of the Golan Heights, a quiet village shrouded in mystery, routine was interrupted by a story that seemed to defy logic. A boy who, without apparent explanation, began describing scenes from a past life. In his innocence, words laden with secrets were uttered, as if he had penetrated an invisible veil to reveal the truth of an ancient crime, a crime that had remained unsolved until then. The voice of the investigation echoed between memories and evidence. As the community pored over this unusual case, witnesses and experts gathered to try to understand the inexplicable. The child's account, though disturbing, highlighted the fine line between reality and fantasy, between the tangible and the uncanny. Little was known about the origin of these memories, but their consistency and unbelievable details aroused concern and fascination in equal measure. The heart of this mystery lies in the intersection of the supernatural and the investigative. In an environment where traditions blend with spiritual beliefs, it was common for elders to lead young children to places considered sacred, where they could access memories of past lives. And it was in this context that the story took on even deeper depths, revealing not only a singular witness, but also clues that literally painted the scene of a brutal crime. By digging into the past, the investigation reappears as a distant echo of pain and suffering. The child detailed with stunning clarity the place where her body was buried and the name of the person who, in a previous existence, had violently taken her life. These statements, shrouded in a mystical aura, became an enigma that led investigators to unravel a long-buried mystery. During excavations on the outskirts of the village, a skeleton marked by a devastating head wound was found, accompanied by undeniable evidence such as the murder weapon and acts that contradicted the gentleness with which the child's memories manifested. The suspense intensifies as testimonies and evidence intertwine in a narrative that defies traditional explanations. The case unfolded in a surprising and disturbing manner, evoking memories of other unexplained phenomena studied by experts around the world. Among these, the study by renowned psychiatrist Ian Stevenson stands out. He dedicated more than 40 years to analyzing hundreds of accounts of children who claimed to remember past lives. His research indicated that in many cases, physical marks and emotional trauma seemed to echo from a previous existence, revealing an inexplicable connection between what was and what is. Like the case of the boy in the Golan Heights, stories like that of Shanti Devi, an Indian child who, from a young age, recounting detailed memories of her supposed previous life, impressed even Mahatma Gandhi, leading to a special commission to investigate her story. Such accounts, filled with mystery and emotion, reinforce the idea that time can be more fluid than we imagine, and that past life experiences can resonate in unexpected ways. As the investigation progressed, questions arose. How could it be possible, from a scientific and spiritual perspective, for a child to incorporate memories of a life that supposedly ended with the violence of a heinous crime? Initially, skeptical authorities began to consider the need for an interdisciplinary approach, involving historians, psychiatrists, and even experts in paranormal phenomena. The investigations were not limited to the scientific field, but also embraced the cultural and spiritual aspects deeply rooted in the local community. After all, for many, reincarnation and memories of past lives were not just mystical stories, but part of lived and respected reality itself. Each new discovery seemed to open doors to more questions. The excavations, which sought to confirm the veracity of the story, brought to light physical evidence that corroborated the child's narrative. The skeleton with the mark of the wound on its head was not only a silent testimony to a brutal crime, but a missing link between the past and the present. Beside it, the presence of the weapon, an axe, stood as the tragic symbol of a tragic history, now rediscovered by a young heir to ancient memories. The community, divided between skepticism and faith, found itself immersed in heated debates. Old residents recalled ancestral traditions, in which the passing of memories between generations was accepted as a spiritual truth. On the other hand, authorities and scientists insisted on seeking rational and verifiable explanations. This duality, this coexistence of mysticism and reason, established the perfect setting for a narrative that transcends the ordinary. As the pieces of the puzzle slowly came together, the tension mounted. Each testimony, each piece of archaeological evidence causes the fine line between what is real and what is possible to blur at a disturbing speed. As the investigators delved in deeper, the narrative took on contours that intrigued skeptics and believers alike. Documents, interviews, and police reports formed the fabric of a drama that seemed straight out of a science fiction script, but which, in reality, it was part of our world. Among the many questions that remain unanswered, the question arises, what does it really mean to remember a previous life? Are these fragments of memory mere illusions, or reflections of an existence that transcends the limits of time? Answers always seem to elude us, leaving us with only the feeling that the universe hides mysteries we can never fully explain. The impact of this case extended beyond conferences and news reports. It sparked a wave of new accounts, with others believing they had access to similar experiences. Where the line between death and oblivion had been blurred by a mysterious force. In a country where beliefs and superstitions are deeply rooted, stories like that of the Golan Heights boy have become urban legends, inspiring debates and reflections on destiny and the continuity of life. The narrative thus becomes a mirror that reflects not only the pain of a crime committed in one lifetime, but also the hope of justice for a soul that, so brief and intense, traversed time in search of redemption. The tragedy that marked the past was, in a way, revealed through the eyes of a child who, without modern instruments, brought dark secrets to light and, in some way, allowed the truth to emerge from the sepulchral silence. Continuing the tenuous line of investigation, experts continue to explore the connection between ancestral memories and life's traumas. Studies show that, in many cases, physical and emotional scars can be carriers of stories that the body carries, signs of events that seem to transcend mere chance. Medicine, psychology, and anthropology engage in dialogue in this nebulous field, attempting to unravel the complex intricacies of existence and death. In retelling this story, it is impossible not to be moved by the intensity of the feelings that permeated each revelation. The innocence of a child, the brutality of a murder, and the relentless search for the truth intertwine in a narrative that reminds us of how fragile the line is between life and death, between the real and the inexplicable. Old folk wisdom warns, there are secrets that time can never erase, scars that remain as silent witnesses to a past that refuses to be remembered. Now, while this investigation remains unfinished, we're invited to reflect on the very nature of existence. Memory, whether a product of our own being or a legacy from past lives, has a transformative power, capable of illuminating hidden truths and bringing to light secrets that defy logic. In every detail, in every testimony, we perceive that behind the cold evidence and documented facts, there is a living flame that insists on making us question what we know about time and identity. And so, as we close this account, the question that echoes in the silence is, what would you do if out of nowhere you witnessed the impossible? If a child, with the simplicity of a whisper, revealed memories that defy reason, opening a portal to a bloody and mysterious past. This story challenges us to look beyond the limits of everyday life, to consider that perhaps the truth is much vaster and more inexplicable than we can imagine. This mystery remains without definitive answers, destined to fuel the imagination and investigation of all who dare to explore the boundaries between the tangible and the invisible. As we continue to search for clues and listen to the echoes of lives gone by, the truth becomes an open mosaic where each fragment is a vital piece for understanding the immense enigma of existence. The trajectory of this investigation, filled with encounters and disagreements, truths and shadows, leaves us with a profound lesson. The past, even when withered and buried, can resonate in unexpected ways, reminding us that reality is far more complex and mysterious than meets the eye. Ask yourself, are we willing to accept that somewhere in the universe, answers hide behind ancient memories, waiting to be discovered by those who dare to listen? Remain curious, question, and above all, don't settle for easy options. The truth may be just a whisper away, waiting to be revealed. Learn more about these intriguing cases and the investigations that challenge our understanding of memory and identity.